What can we expect from the second-year quarterbacks? Bruce and I are going to break it all down. We're going to go through all 5 first-rounders, Bruce, starting with Baker Mayfield. He was the number 1 overall pick in 2018, and here's what that season looked like. An 84.5 overall grade, number 8 in PFF grading. When you break it down, pressure versus clean pocket, he was 10th overall in both. So pretty consistent there. 90 grade from a clean pocket, 62 under pressure, which is excellent. And then this is where Baker really stood out. The big-time throw rate, those highest graded PFF throws, 8%. That was number 2 in the NFL behind only Russell Wilson. Turnover-worthy throws, 3.1%. Not great, but when you're talking about a rookie ranking 19th in that number, not bad at all. So when you look at Baker's rookie season, Bruce, what did you see? What were you most impressed with? And how does a rookie have a big-time throw percentage that high?
Well, you talk about his big-time throws. I mean, he had 12 big-time throws, and the rest of the rookie class had 9 altogether. So it was very impressive of what he's able to do. And I love the fact of a clean pocket and versus pressure, how this guy operates, because a lot of times you get that clean pocket, you need to make the plays. The thing I love about Baker, though, is his poise inside that pocket to buy a little extra time and make those key plays downfield. If you see it, yes, he has good rhythm. He executes the offense, but on those third down and long, he finds ways to make plays. Very accurate with the football, so this guy's efficient.
Yeah, and it's inside and outside the pocket. One of the big questions, too, with Baker Mayfield, could he make tight window throws? Look at this, because at Oklahoma, he had plenty of open throws, but we always said, you know what, he can make those tight window throws. He can do it. In this 57 grade, which doesn't seem all that high on tight window throws, though, it's actually the 3rd best in the NFL, dating back to 2016. Right behind Patrick Mahomes.
Look at this not bad company right there.
Well, look who's number 1. It's Nick Foles. This is usually a highly volatile number, so Foles, that's why they won that Super Bowl in 2017, because it's a 3-year sample. So he was making tight window throws, and then this one's interesting too, because you mentioned all the big-time throws that he was making outside the pocket. That led to a 78.3 grade on plays outside the pocket. And when we look at a 3-year sample, yeah, there's Mahomes again. There's guys like Jimmy Garoppolo, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and then Mayfield. So he could do it outside of structure.
Well, and that's what I love. He can do it outside of structure, and he knows how to buy time, but he's very accurate with it. I mean, Mayfield makes the type of plays Big Ben does. And I was in the locker room, I was in those meeting rooms with Big Ben, and the guy's poise, composure, and just knack for making plays, he's got it, and that's what Baker Mayfield does.
All right, let's move on to the next rookie. The 3rd overall pick in the draft was Sam Darnold of the New York Jets. We see a 64.7 grade. That ranked 26th in the NFL. We'll get to the breakdown of that in just a minute. We see the pressure and clean pocket, 26th in a clean pocket, 23rd in a pressure pocket. So again, bottom 3rd of the league, and then the big-time throws versus the turnover-worthy throws. We saw Baker way up here and avoiding turnover-worthy throws with the high big-time throw percentage. Darnold 23rd and then 29th at avoiding turnover-worthy throws. This is more the way rookies tend to play.
Right.
So when you looked at Darnold, let's get right to the splits real quick. Look at these splits. This was the first 9 weeks. A 50.9 grade was dead last, 35th. In PFF grading, but over the last 4 weeks, it's a small sample size. That's the big caveat here. Small sample size, but number 1, he showed improvement after a midseason injury. What did you see from Darnold?
Well, a little bit of what we saw at USC from Darnold. He starts off pretty good, hits that lack in the middle of the year, and then finishes strong. I think with Darnold, the thing I love about him, too, he's like a point guard. He moves in the pocket, always keeps his eyes downfield. When he pushes up, he's able to distribute that football. And a lot of times, it's like that point guard taking it to the hole like I used to do in the past. Steve's 6'9".
I'd be swatting that.
I keep him under the blocks, okay? I actually need to probably stand on like a step stool right now. He's a little too tall for me. But that's what I love about Darnold. He is able to make plays outside of structure as well. He keeps his eyes downfield good. The thing about Darnold, I want him to really focus on this year, being consistent throughout the whole season.
Right.
I think he can really take that step in year 2.
When you're talking about a rookie quarterback and becoming more comfortable, this number really stands out to me. 18 turnover-worthy plays during the first 9 weeks of the season, only 2 during those last 4 weeks. So those are those passes where it's a bad decision thrown into the coverage, it's bad fumbles. So how much is just understanding offenses, understanding what defense is doing, and understanding, the game slowing down just a little bit for him?
And I think, too, as a rookie, you're trying to play perfect. sometimes you overthink things, and that's what happens. And I think what helped Darnold a lot last year is getting to watch Josh McCown for a few weeks, just how he prepped throughout the week as the starter. So when Sam got his opportunity again, he was able to step in, play a little more poised. As you see, turnover-worthy plays, took care of the football better, and that's what he has to do from the start of the year till the finish. And the Jets, man, the Jets could be all right now adding Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, and I'm expecting Darnold to definitely take a step forward. He was our number 2 quarterback behind Baker in this draft class. Again, we see the turnover-worthy throws, 5th highest percentage in the NFL last season. Let's move on to Josh Rosen, a fascinating case here because the Arizona Cardinals drafted him in the first round, but they've already traded him to the Miami Dolphins. It's a whole other story. I don't think it was the wrong move necessarily because I do love Kyler Murray, but when we look at Rosen's season, he had a terrible situation, but he also didn't play well. 31st ranked grade, that was 2nd worst in the NFL, 49.1. Even though he faced the 5th most pressure of any quarterback in the NFL, his clean pocket grade of 61.1, too low. So he's still not, even when he was given time, things weren't great. Under pressure, things were very, very bad, 34.6. And we talk about the big-time throws, turnover-worthy throws. He showed he could make some of those big NFL throws, 13th highest big-time throw rate, but the turnover-worthy plays, same percentage, ranked 28th. We saw a little bit of this from Rosen. He can make NFL throws. When you keep him clean, he can do it, but last year was a struggle in maybe the worst situation in the NFL.
Well, absolutely. And you have to look at, operating from a clean pocket. A lot of times, too, did the receivers get open? How did they separate? But that's why I look at Rosen. He has the tools and abilities, the arm strength, the accuracy to get it done. So when you have a clean pocket, you have to execute and take advantage of that. As we saw Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, those two guys have a knack for making plays. Josh Rosen, I feel like the way he's built, his game is, he needs to make those plays from a clean pocket.
In pocket, right? He's got to be within structure.
That's his game because he has the arm, he has the accuracy. So now when you have that clean pocket, you have to make those plays.
And he's shown that good accuracy. That's why this number is concerning because at UCLA, he wasn't the worst as far as the draft class coming out. The two guys that had accuracy issues who we're going to talk about, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, we'll get to them in a second. But Rosen was in their range. This is the worst accuracy percentage in the NFL, and this is actual ball location. You put it on the frame or you're putting it in catch and run opportunities. So Trubisky, Eli, Josh Allen, Rosen, and Lamar Jackson. Rosen being among the worst last year. So this needs to get back to where he was in college.
Absolutely. And I'll guarantee Drew Brees is at the top of the list because that guy, man, when you talk about putting the ball in the right locations, he'll put it away from a defender or where a defender's coming. Drew Brees puts it here, and the receiver can run after catch. That's where the yards, the yak, as we like to call it, the yards after catch come from that location of the accuracy. Josh Rosen, the way he's built, like we're talking about his game, good arm, he can be very accurate. He has to execute that now. And as a rookie, the game's flying around year 2, year 3, year 4 even, that's when it started clicking for me a little bit. You start to get comfortable in what the NFL system's asking you to do.
Unfortunately for Rosen, I don't know if the situation's much better in Miami. The playmakers are okay. The offensive line still among the league's worst. So we'll see if he can improve upon this accuracy number. Let's go to Josh Allen now in Buffalo. There was some good and some bad with Allen. He ends up number 25 in PFF grading at 65.3. That's pretty good for a guy that we said, look, we saw him more as a fringe first-round pick here at PFF. We see the high-end play, but his throw-for-throw accuracy and decision-making just wasn't up to par. But as a player, that was pretty much what we saw. Number 29 from a clean pocket at 68.2. Made some plays under pressure, 59.2. That was number 12 in the NFL. Now, the unfortunate part for Bills fans, this is usually the most consistent part. In a clean pocket, stays a little bit more consistent. This will fluctuate just a touch. And again, can he make big throws? Absolutely. Number 12 in big time throw percentage at 5%, but he's got to cut down on the turnover-worthy plays, 4.7%, number 30. So I think with Allen, a lot of what we saw in college, big-time plays, plays that scouts love, and then plays that have you just shaking your head.
Yeah, and that's where he has to grow in year 2. He has to understand, Josh Allen has to understand, those big plays will come to him. He's athletic enough. Now, he's different than a Darnold and Mayfield. Josh Allen, when he makes plays and extends plays outside the pocket, a lot of times it's going to come with him scrambling, running for 40 yards, as we saw his rookie year, or he's going to launch that thing downfield, and that's what he does. But Josh Allen going into year 2, You don't have to make the splash plays all the time. If it's not there downfield, check it down, move on to the next play. You're more important to your team if you stay healthy, you get completions and move the ball downfield. Josh Allen, I think, has a tremendous upside as he continues to learn and grow.
And if we could see here, the rushing grades, right? You talked about his ability to scramble. That's where he was fantastic. Most scramble yards of any QB, number 4 rushing grade at 81.4 last year. So that might be the one place where he exceeded expectations a little bit.
Right.
He showed the athleticism at Wyoming, but not to the level that he showed last year. He was making some big plays when plays broke down.
And I think, Josh Allen, like we talked about, when he's going to move in the pocket, he's actually moving to run. When you see Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, they're moving to distribute the ball. So it's a little different type of game, but both, all 3 players have the ability to extend plays, but to extend them in different fashions.
Yeah, so would you rather see him maybe make a few more throws on those plays rather than running it?
Yeah, especially. And as we talk about these quarterbacks in general, is operating from a clean pocket. You're in the NFL now. If you get that clean pocket, you have a guy open, you need to hit that. You need to go through your progressions the right way. And Josh Allen, I want to see him do it better this year.
And if he does that, he'll cut down on these turnover-worthy plays, 4th worst in the NFL last season. And we talked about the accuracy percentage. Again, this was in line with what we saw in college. So can he improve it? Maybe. It's tough to improve upon something we've seen year over year, but because of the big playability, Josh Allen has a chance. But we do want to see this get a little bit better. And then to Lamar Jackson, just a fascinating case, because when he did take over for the Baltimore Ravens, yes, they won a lot of games. We'll see what happens this year if they can continue it. We said last year there's an offense to be built around Lamar Jackson and his skill set. But overall, 56 PFF grade, ranked 30th. So that's not great, especially for a guy that won so many games. From a passing standpoint, very similar from a clean pocket and under pressure. But the 56 overall grade from a clean pocket, that's pretty bad. That was dead last in the NFL. Again, that's the consistent part. Can he make some plays under pressure? Yes. But he's not necessarily a scrambler like some of these other guys. It's the designed run game for Lamar. And then over here, 3% big-time throws. That's mid-tier to below average, but 5% turnover-worthy throws. That's a lot higher. So from a pure passing standpoint, it wasn't great for Lamar Jackson. But let's get right into this part here. Most rushing yards on designed runs. He was used in the designed run game like no other quarterback in the NFL. 562 yards, almost double what the next closest QB had. So it's a very unique situation with Lamar Jackson. It's like a wide receiver with the ball in his hands. He can make NFL throws, but his throw-for-throw consistency just isn't there.
Well, and that's the concern coming into this year, because Lamar Jackson can operate and be successful with the right team around him. And we're talking about a good defense, good special teams, and good running game. Lamar Jackson from a clean pocket, worse in the NFL, that has to get better. Like we're talking about timing, footwork. I know he's worked diligently in the offseason on those things. But if this guy's going to have this many rushing yards and attempts, he had 147 rushing attempts in
Crazy.
7 games.
Right.
So my concern is him being able to stay healthy. Look, he's not built like Cam Newton. Cam Newton's about as tall as you and no
a little bit thicker.
A little thick, a couple more muscles, but the dude's got muscles coming out of his neck and his ears. It's crazy. And Lamar Jackson's not as thick and strong, so he's got to stay available for the Ravens. And they have to, they lost a lot of people on defense as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
So the thing we said about Lamar coming out is, if you build the run game around him, which is fine, it's going to keep the defense off balance. And what it does is it creates more open throws because, again, our accuracy percentage is based off of actual ball location. So if you do have that open receiver and you're hitting him on the wrong shoulder, it's not really accurate. It's a completion, but it's not accurate. But a completion's better than throwing an incompletion. It's easier to throw completions when guys are open. So the idea that Lamar is a part of the run game and they can run play action off that, and the defense does have to account for the extra rusher, should give him more open throws. And when he has more open throws, this worst accuracy percentage in the NFL, it kind of mitigates that a little bit and creates easier time for him in the pass game.
Yeah, and look, as a quarterback, I loved getting under center and seeing man-to-man coverage because you don't have to read much.
Right.
And with Lamar Jackson, he's going to see a lot of man-to-man coverage because you have to put an extra defender in the box to try to stop the running game. And not the running game by the running backs, but Lamar Jackson, he's a dual threat. He can really run that RPO game. So it's going to be interesting because he's going to get those throws versus man-to-man. But when you have man-to-man, you have to be more accurate with the throw, and that's accuracy with the ball location. So a lot of times, too, if you leave it behind a receiver, boom, the DB's hitting it out, incomplete. So he's got to work very hard this year when he sees man-to-man, take advantage of it.
The thing I always say about Lamar, there are people who really love him. There are people who are detractors because of, the basic elements of accuracy and different things that you see good NFL quarterbacks do. And if you watch the game long enough, everybody's right, because Lamar can go through progressions. He can do NFL QB things. He can make NFL throws, but still throw for throw, it's below average with the rest of the league. Can he make up for it with his legs? That's going to be the big question for Lamar. So there you have it. It's the 5 NFL second-year quarterbacks, all first-rounders. We'll see how they develop. But don't forget the YouTube channel. We're giving away an Edge subscription. All you have to do is subscribe and comment with your Twitter handle below. That's right. We're giving away free stuff on here.
Wow.
So be sure to give us a thumbs up, comment. You can subscribe too. You can win free PFF Edge.
Thanks for watching the PFF YouTube channel. And if you want to subscribe, all you have to do is push the button. Don't forget everything you get. A little fantasy, push the button. A little green line for the gambling aspects of the game, push the button. College football, push the button. The YouTube channel from PFF.